Bears country. Where is it? It's in your man cave. Your home. Your car. Your local bar. Your city. State. It's across the world. It's in your heart. And it's here. The Bears Country Podcast.
Welcome to Bears Country Podcast on Barroom Network. That gave me goosebumps. That is such an amazing opening that Aldo made for us. We want to give our utmost congratulations to Aldo and thank you for everything that you've done for us, joining you on your network. I am here tonight with a special guest from Dan and Aldo Bare Their Souls, Dan Aguire. Dan, how are you doing, buddy?
I am well, and that was a sensational intro there by Aldo.
Dude, the hair just brings me to tears almost. Awesome job, Aldo. Thank you very much. Dude, let's get into this, man. We only have an hour because there is Major League Baseball coming on after this podcast on the Barroom Network. So let's just dive into it, Dan. Like, watching the game, in case anyone doesn't know, I was there yesterday at the game. I had great seats in the end zone, 7th row in the quarter end zone. Like, I saw that pass, the touchdown pass to Equinemius St. Brown. That was right by me. So it was a great experience, even though it was raining. Luckily, it didn't rain all game. It just kind of really started to downpour at the end. But just from your perspective watching it, like, what did you think, buddy?
Initially, when I woke up, it was about, 11:30 Eastern time. And I was like, oh, fuck. Because I opened up Twitter just to try to see the inactives. And I saw some lady's foot. She was tweeting the rain and how far her shoe was going into water as she was walking into Soldier Field. And I was like, oh, no. My initial thought was it rained during the entire game of Super Bowl 41. We're fucked. Then I was like, no. This is not over. I've guaranteed a victory. We're going to pull this out. And I'm so glad that it happened. I don't want to take up too much time here, but I've got so many comparisons that came into my head with that game yesterday.
You are the guest, Dan, so you just fire away. I will say, though, to what you just said, there's only a couple games that we can remember that had that much rain in them, right? Like, the last one that I can think of was the Halloween game against the Packers, where Edgar Bennett ran the ball.
That was my 14th birthday. That was horrible. That's when Sayers and Butkus had their jerseys retired.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, just fucking horrendous. I'm the only person I think in the world that loved our jersey from that night, though, with all those stripes and shit on it. Even Eric Kramer said he didn't like that jersey. I enjoyed it. The 1920s one?
Yeah. Those were strange, weren't they? I mean, for a lot of fans, I enjoyed those ones too. But it's crazy how many different jerseys they brought out, from the past, including that one, which they haven't used since. So that was go ahead.
Oh, I didn't mean to step on you. I was going to say the game that popped to my head was 1999. If you recall, the Saints came to Soldier Field and with Mike Ditka as head coach. Now, we had lost to them in 97 on a TNT Sunday night game with Heath Schuler battling Rick Meyer at one point. So that was not really a classic game. But in 99, I kept telling Jenny, who I was watching the game with yesterday, I kept saying, like, I just feel like we're still in it. The scoreboard lends itself to say we're in this game. When one team is allegedly so much better than the other, but can't put them away, that always seems to come back and haunt them. And the reference I was making, the Saints at Bears, 1999, for 57 minutes of that game, the Bears didn't do anything. It's 10-0 New Orleans. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, Shane Matthews throws a touchdown pass to Curtis Conway. We get the ball back with like 45 seconds, whatever. He throws another touchdown to Conway. We win 14-10. Ditka throws the headset. He's pissed off. It's raining. It's cold. It's foggy. So not like fog like 88, but, you know, it was just one of those shitty weather games. And it was in October of 99, but we came back to win. That's what I kept thinking of yesterday. Thankfully, the Bears didn't wait until the last 3 minutes of the game to get their stuff, their shit rolling. But can we cuss on this? Is this
absolutely? We're on Barroom Network.
Yeah. I'm just making sure. Some shows are like PG and stuff on here. No. So, but yeah, that's the game I thought
Swear
of.
Swear away,
so,
buddy.
Well, that's the game I thought of. Conversely, if you'll remember, in 2011, we were playing Kansas City. They had some like just horrific quarterback playing. I forget who he was. It's like the only game he ever started. And we had Caleb Haney because Cutler's thumb. And the Bears defense was dominating, but they gave up a Hail Mary prior to the half, like a 50, 60-yard pass touchdown. And that's the difference in the game. And we lost it, and we were completely head to shoulders above the 2011 Chiefs. But that's the way the 49ers feel about themselves today. Oh, we're so much better than the Bears. But like that 2011 game, the Bears lost. Today, we're on the other side of that, and it feels fucking great.
Dude, I 100% agree. And you're taking me down memory lane with your excellent memory of all these different games. And that's why we thought it would be fitting to have you as the first guest on our Barroom Network presentation of Bears Country Podcast. And, you know, that era that you're talking about, or in those games you're talking about, just when you compare the field from then till now, like the game against the Packers on Halloween, what did you think about the field last night or yesterday? Because being at the game myself, I could tell that field was 100% different. They weren't scratching pieces of turf out everywhere and falling on their asses because of it. That grass held together. Do you have anything like what are your thoughts on that? Because
well, I certainly am not. I'm certainly not an expert on Bermuda grass versus Kentucky bluegrass or whatever. I'm not the agricultural lawn guy that's going to come and work with your soil. But yeah, I mean, like you said, from all indications, even after the game, it looked pretty well because the weather got better, ironically, after the game, right? And everyone seems to say that the grass was looked better after the game than it did, even despite all that rain. Certainly in comparison with what Soldier Field's looked like since it reopened in 2003. But this version of Soldier Field, the grass has always been just horrific, it seems.
I know, and being at the game, I've been to a lot of games, and we've seen a lot of games on television where you have that shitty turf. And being at the game and seeing that turf for the first time for me I was impressed with it. And it just kind of goes to show what this coaching staff is bringing to the team when they're able to get them to change the grass. And then, boom, they have a fucking monsoon. When we were driving, we were on the train going down there, and my cousin said to me, they're saying that the Soldier Field is going to get 2 inches of rain. And I was like, holy shit, that's a lot of rain. And when we were walking from the train, well, we took a shuttle, but from the shuttle to the station or to the stadium, it was just you're avoiding puddles everywhere. I mean, massive puddles, just trying to keep your feet dry just to get to the game. And then we get there, and I was expecting to see this flood on the field, but there wasn't. And it kind of the weather subsided. It kind of became like a light rain or a drizzle at one point for most of the game, and then it kind of started to really downpour at the end of the game. And I was impressed with how the field was holding up after that, because I would have expected after all these years of watching Bears games for that just to get shredded to hell. So kudos to.
It kind of makes you wonder, like, why? I mean, why wasn't this done sooner then? Why didn't they change the type of turf or grass that was being used all these years when, I mean, I don't know if you heard, we played clips of Cutler and Urlacher from Jay's podcast, and they were just even the players saying, "Oh, it's the worst shit in the league." When that's like the universal opinion, not just from fans, but players, even Bears players think it was horrible. Like, why wouldn't they do something to? Maybe that's part of the reason the Park District again is losing the Bears. A complacency, like to where you're like, it's okay if you play on a shitty field, you know?
Right. Yeah. Or we don't know what we're doing. Period. This is the grass that we're putting down there because that's supposed to be the best grass for this. But they were wrong. Because I think the one thing that Eberflus was saying is that the grass, they were worried about it freezing over the winter, and he must have convinced them some other way that wasn't going to be the case based on what he was used to from the Indianapolis training facilities, I think. So kudos to Eberflus for getting them to do that and that short of a time, and that grass did not just rip to shreds. So awesome.
The best thing about Eberflus, and again, this is going to be a vague statement, and I'm sure a lot of people have made it, so it's not some universally mind-blowing opinion, but it just felt like, and once more, I am going to defecate on Matt Nagy here, but it just felt like if Nagy were here, there'd be no way to make an adjustment at the half. We would just come out and run the same shit, and that's that, because the game plan, it worked in his head in the lab somewhere on late Wednesday night, so it must be the players who were not executing it. It felt like, they go into the half and they come out and they started rolling Fields out more than they were in the first half, and certainly trying to opening it up a little bit more. And so to me, I love to see that he used that opportunity to make adjustments. The Bears haven't had a coach to make halftime adjustments since Lovey.
No shit. That you stole like one of the things I was going to say. You said it for me. Thank you. That when they were kind of the game was going back and forth in the first half, I thought, man, I can't wait to see what the adjustments that they make going into the second half. And then boom, 19 unanswered points. So
should have been 21, but yeah.
Right. In my mind, it should have been 28. Then it would have been the score that I called, which is 28-10. But
I honestly think, not to bounce around, but I think Santos would have missed that field goal had it not been for the towel. Like, he was just like, is anyone else worried? I mean, is it the new holder? Is it the new grass? Was it the rain? But I mean, his kicks were really shitty yesterday.
Well, I was talking to my cousin about this, and he's a soccer player, and he was bringing this up to me about when the grass is that waterlogged with water, that your plant foot slips, and it's really hard for you to get that much effort into the kick when your plant foot is sliding like that in the water. So I'm sure that had a lot to do with it, although it didn't affect Robbie Gould.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, man. And I don't like Robbie. I loved him when he beat Green Bay in the playoffs. I loved him when he beat Seattle in the playoffs for us. But, I mean, like, he's got a big mouth now. Even with the Bears, he's comparing himself to Jordan and shit. Just lunacy. But, God, really? Yeah, he compared himself to Michael Jordan. He's very full of himself. And he was rooting for the Eagles to beat us in the wild card game in 2018, and so happy with Cody Parkey's miss. So I kind of really, really like to beat Robbie Gould's ass. But beyond that, he did make his kick. Like, that's what Robbie does. I mean, he got into that big slump and was losing games for us, during Trestman's run. But since the Bears cut him, and I think he was okay with the Giants, since he landed in San Francisco, he has been money.
He has. And he hasn't missed a kick in Soldier Field since he joined that team.
Of course.
Is that right? And what was it last time they beat us? It was all field goals, right?
Yeah, the 15-14 or 15-13 game. That was Garoppolo's first start as a 49er. So it's ironic that we had Trey Lance in his first start yesterday.
Yeah. What did you think about the comparison between the two quarterbacks yesterday? I'm just curious to know your thoughts, because I don't think Lance was as bad as people made him out to be. There was at one point where he had hit 6, 7, 8 different receivers, Yeah.
He obviously can run. I mean, the weather probably had some factor in his throws, certainly later in the game.
Mhm.
But the play calling really let them down, I thought. And thankfully so. In the first half, they were using all that misdirection against the Bears. And, who's got the ball? Is it an end around, the jet sweep? Is it, coming back with a counter? Like, you just kind of had to know who's got the ball. But they just started doing straight dropbacks in the second half and got away from their entire set in the first half that had been so effective. But then again, maybe Shanahan's thinking we got to do something different. We only got 10 points. I don't know.
It's crazy how much the game plan adjustments changed at halftime for both teams, right? Because I think at one point in the first half, the ball was on our side, on our end zone side, because it was right in front of us, and there was the Bears ran a play, and there was like a holding call or something, and then they came out and ran the exact same fucking play after that and got nothing out of it. And I thought that was very curious to come back and run the same play. And I myself started to kind of question, what the hell is Getsy doing right now? And then they made the adjustment at halftime and came out successful opposite to the Niners, which was kind of fun to watch.
Allow me to apologize. Someone in the chat room pointed out that Lance started 2 games in 2021. I wasn't aware of that, and I never professed to be a San Francisco fan, so I do apologize for being inaccurate on that point, though.
No, I mean, you're like me. You just watch the Bears. You're not breaking down
that's the
other
only game
teams.
I watched yesterday, period.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't watch Green Bay and Minnesota. I certainly wasn't going to watch Tom Brady against fucking Dallas. If I were home tonight, I would watch Russell Wilson against Seattle, but I'm at work, so.
Yeah, maybe later I'll watch that. But the same thing for me. I haven't looked at the scores from the rest of the league because I'm just so Bears, just everything Bears about me, like you, Dan. And it's just great to talk to you. I can't believe I'm having this conversation with you on Bears Country Podcast. This is awesome.
Well, yeah, I appreciate being here for real, man.
Me too, man. Thank you. So the running game, what'd you think about? What'd you think about the
David
running
Montgomery was like under 2 yards a carry.
Right.
I can't blame that on him. I'm such a fan of David Montgomery.
So am I.
I don't know. Again, I'm not the guy that's going to break down the tape. And Aldo and I were speaking earlier, and I think he told me, take this for what it's worth. Pro Football Focus had said Jenkins was actually the best lineman we had yesterday. And obviously he was alternating with Patrick. So I don't know what was happening. I saw that Braxton gave up 2 sacks. But again, the questions with the running game, I don't know. But I don't know if I've ever seen the Bears look so inept, even during Nagy's days. I mean, you still had Jordan Howard here or there that just needed more carries, but it wasn't that bad when he was running. I don't think I've ever seen a half where they couldn't run the ball at all.
Right.
I can't. It's inexplicable to me, like that it was that porous. But obviously, we survived. You'd have to think that if the Bears are going to win more games, and I think we both want them to and expect them to, then the running game's going to have to get going. Sunday night, no less.
What are your overall thoughts about your overall feelings of the game? Do you feel like we got away with one? Do you feel like Dennis Green pounding the table going, we had him where we wanted him, and
that's okay. If you're going to win 10, 11 games, who knows more, we hope, right? But if you're going to be a winning football team, you're going to have to be able to win games when you don't have everything going your way.
Right.
In the sense that on paper, it kind of looks like we did because you have 2 interceptions and you had the peanut punch. So you're creating turnovers. It's kind of like the 2018 Bears in that sense that, well, if you didn't have all these turnovers, you wouldn't have won. But they had everything going against them. The team that's been hyped up, it's supposed, had almost an 8-point margin on the point spread in Chicago and supposedly Super Bowl bound and we're supposed to be 3-14 and just so horrible if you listen to everybody else, and you got the weather and you got all these Pro Bowlers on their side, but yet somehow we came out with a victory, and it's all from just hanging around and momentum. Momentum is so important. Last week, again, not to tug on my own cock here, but we were asked, Tooch was leading our segment on Bear, Dan and Aldo Bear Their Souls, and we're breaking down games, and they said, well, what is your keys to victory? And mine was, which at the time I kind of felt like didn't get over with the other people that were like, they're just like, oh, well, that wasn't a good answer. But I said, get Fields in rhythm, because it just felt like all of last year, and most of it I blamed on Nagy. It was so hard at times for Fields to complete a pass. Just get him in rhythm early. I think they tried initially with that screen pass in the first play of the game, which looked ugly. But eventually, to shorten the answer, is soon as he got that pass on the busted play across his body on the other side of the field, which I was like, oh God, please don't let him make a bad throw on this. It's like, oh God, he caught it. He's gonna score. Oh, right, great block, St. Brown.
Yeah.
But yeah, it took a play like that to give you that fickle momentum. And when we got it, we didn't relinquish it. And I don't think the Bears have to apologize for that victory. And the short answer is to say that if you're going to be a good team, you have to win games like that. And we won it.
And these are the things we've been pounding the table for Justin Fields with. His improvisation skills. And we saw that come into play yesterday. I mean, that pass to Pettis was the play broke down, and then all of a sudden he was wide open. And by the way, you can't guarantee that every quarterback that the Bears have had in the past however many years, including Trubisky, could have made all those passes. Even the pass to Equanimeous St. Brown for the next touchdown was such a perfectly thrown ball. He dropped back right into rhythm. Just exactly. Look at this one. Oh, this is the touchdown, right? Yeah. Oh, this is the one to Pettis. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that.
Play. If that were Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes, ESPN would have run that on loop today. About how great it was, how it was such a improvisational, and it was just, oh, what a great throw by Aaron. But Fields doesn't. They're like, well, it was a busted play. It doesn't really count,
I know, right? The narrative is still such that they're trying to find a way to give excuses to the Bears, right? Or to the Niners for losing this game.
Yeah, ESPN might as well be. I mean, seriously, this is an exaggeration, but it's not that off, in my opinion. It might as well be the E Network. Right. Look at her dress on the red carpet, because all they do is focus on nonsensical headlines that have no substance or depth to them at all. They it's just like, it's a fucking fashion show. It's not really an in-depth football network at all. It's just whatever they consider the headlines, and there's no substance to them at all.
They're just trying to stir up conversation to get people going against each other for the opposite narratives, right?
Right. And it's for casual football fans, not like diehards.
Mm-hmm. This pass here that we're rewatching, the touchdown pass, I was in that end zone over on the right side where it says kickoff on the wall.
Right.
That's where I was sitting, 7th row. That pass came right into where we were sitting. And
I'm so glad he caught it. He had a bad drop earlier in the game,
in
the first quarter, I think. So I'm glad he caught it. And like you said, it was a great throw, too. And I believe they said it was his second read. So, again, that's what we always criticize Mitch on. Oh, he can't make but the first read. So we're already seeing Fields, and I know it's just technically a second year, but his first year being the guy in week one, already making the quote-unquote difficult reads and throws. And to me, even if he completed 8 passes, he did what he had to do to win, and I was very happy with his performance. Early in the game, it was disconcerting, but, you rebound,
His accuracy on his passes is one of the things that we've all loved from Justin coming out of college. And these are the things that have got us excited about him as a Chicago Bear quarterback. So we're starting to see everything just come together. And that was just a huge win for us. It wasn't a great game. It could have been better. I
disagree. I think it was a great game because to come back from the adversity and the snapshot that everyone has seen with Fields diving into the water, like almost like the snow angel, but in rain.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be, I mean, in 12 years or hopefully even longer, he's still with the Bears. But when you look at his Wikipedia page, that might be on there. That's going to be like his iconic coming out moment for the Bears, not in terms of a play, but just a moment, a memory. And I think when we're in our fucking late 50s or 60s or what have you, if we're fortunate enough to live that long, we're going to remember that game.
Yep.
More so if it had been in sunshine and the Bears won, because you're going to remember that fucking moment when they dove in the rain. So I think that is a great moment.
Absolutely. It's iconic. If they can pull this season off with a winning record and make it to the playoffs, we're going to be seeing that play throughout the rest of Justin Fields' entire career with the Bears.
Absolutely. It looks like a playoff game because normally you would have that adverse weather, that inclement weather would be in January or something, I mean, it can rain anytime, but still, if you go back over the years, most of the time, week 1 in Chicago is hot as hell. There's people in the lake not paying attention to the game, doing what they're doing on boats and shit, and it's sunny. It's usually sunny until like October, and then you get some rain here, but not like that. Right. It almost looks like a postseason game that moment.
And no, it really did. And I was making shorts the entire game when I was there, and it just started pouring balls at the end there, and I had been trying to make a bunch of different shorts, and it was just my phone was soaked. I'm like, I'm gonna break my phone, and I put my phone in my pocket, and then they slid across the field. I was like, fuck! It would have been perfect just to get that moment, just to have it on my own video from that perspective of the field. I'm so upset that I didn't do it.
It's awesome that you were there because Aldo and I will say, oh, we were there for Fields' first start, even though it was so brutal, that loss in Cleveland. But we were there. Yeah. So now you can say again, you were there when Fields dove in the fucking water, man. It's a cool moment.
Absolutely, man. It was such an awesome moment. Like it was being there at the game was just awesome. And you're going to be at the game, the Dolphins game, right?
Yeah, I've got tickets for 2 games this year. I've got tickets for Miami. I think that's week 9. It's on November the 6th.
6th, yeah.
Yeah, it's my future girlfriend's birthday.
Your future girlfriend?
Yeah, I'm just waiting on her to be ready. And I'm just keeping it real. And the other game, Aldo and I are going to brave the alleged cold and be at Minnesota at Chicago in the final weekend of the season.
It's going to be great. We're going to be at that game too, Kitty and I. So
you're at the Minnesota game too?
No, I'm
just
sorry,
the Miami game. Okay,
the Miami game. Yeah. So we're trying to get you and Dan and Aldo to come get and join us with our great seats. So more to come with that soon because that'll be awesome if we're all at the game together, sitting together.
I should pitch to you. We should get you and your people to join us at the Smashing Pumpkins the night before at the United Center.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, it's Smashing Pumpkins, Jane's Addiction, and this fucking wild woman named Poppy. I saw her in Florida at a festival in May, and she's like Bjork if she were American and like in her 20s now. Just fucking wild, crazy, her performance, like in a good way. So that's who the opening act is. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Billy Corgan, a Bears fan, B from Chicago. So it'll be a homecoming show, and I've never been to the United Center. So I can see some Bulls era trophies and shit, I hope.
Well, shit, maybe we'll try to make that happen. I'd love to see the Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah, it's the night before the game too. So I mean, it's just worked out perfectly. He and Billy Corgan and Perry Farrell were on Howard Stern one morning back in like May, and I didn't really know why it was just them. And then I thought, I wonder if they're going to tour together. And then I heard when I was driving home from work, Howard said, we've got a big announcement later in the show. And it was the tour, and the tour dates came out, and this was the next day the tickets went on sale. And I told Aldo, I was like, fuck it, I'm going to take a chance. I'm buying these Smashing Pumpkin tickets in Chicago. I just hope the Bears are in town the same weekend. And it would have been horrible for me if they'd have been I come there on Saturday the 5th and then the Bears on the road in the 6th. But thankfully it worked out, and I got my Bears tickets the next day because they went on sale like the day after the Pumpkins tickets went on sale. It just all came together, thankfully.
Dude, that's amazing. That's awesome. We'll have to try to make that work. Seriously.
Oh,
I'd love to see
invited,
Smashing
man.
Pumpkins. I've never seen them live. I've been to a lot of concerts. I've never seen them live. That'd be fun.
It's great. I've seen them live 3 times. The cool thing that Billy said, I'm not the biggest Jane's Addiction fan. I've seen him once, but he said something to Howard like, these guys are so good. If we half-ass any of the shows, they're going to blow us off the stage. And being a person that has an ego, this is Billy speaking, I'm paraphrasing, like, I don't want to be blown off the stage. So I know I've got to give my best every night. So I want the crowd to say that the Smashing Pumpkins were better.
Right.
So there's these two guys love each other, but they have this rivalry where they really want to be the better artist, the better performer. So we're going to get their best, man. And Billy's got me pumped up. He's from Chicago, you know? So it's going to be fun.
I grew up a huge fan of them. I really did. Their first couple of albums just on repeat in my head to this day. So
well, you got everyone's back in the band except Darcy. She's allegedly on meth or something. She's really looks bad. But beyond that, you've got James back, and Jimmy Chamberlain's been back for a long time. So it's essentially the band, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, good. I'm sad to hear that about Darcy, but at least the rest of them are still together. Yeah,
because they were broken up for a while, but the original lineup essentially is back together, except for the bass player, like I said.
Well, Dan, we have a special guest coming up in a moment. He's going to do a section for us called Cliff Notes. But before we get to that, let's continue with this entertainment for after the break.
Need a little help with your sports betting? Well, the Barroom Network is here to help. On Saturdays, it's Weekend Sports Betting Tips with John Santucci and Anthony from PoundItSports.com. And then on Sunday, it's the Mike North Advantage with the great Mike North. Best way to stay on top of things is subscribe to the Barroom Network's YouTube channel. Dan, do you prefer the method of having altering?
No, because Mark Trestman did that and Matt Nagy did that, and arguably they're the worst 2 coaches in the history of the franchise.
You're forgetting John Fox. He squeezes in there, maybe.
Did Fox do that too?
I think so.
Fuck that. Put the C on Fields and leave it there.
Exactly.
Barroom Network, Bears Country Podcasts, Podfather. That's my word for Barroom Network. We love you guys. We have a special guest here, Cliff Victoria from chat, and he's going to break down his Cliff Notes section for this show. Cliff, you look awesome. Looks like you got your camera fixed, actually.
I did. I figured out which button to push finally. Hey, Sciorty and Dan, nice to see you both. Nice to talk with you.
I agree, so nice to meet you.
Good to meet you, too. So, Sciorty, we talked a little bit about having a segment called Cliff Notes, and I had to figure out what to do with that. So I came up with something for this week. We'll see how it works out. Hey, chat, I can't see what you're writing right now, but I'll come back and review it later. So let me know your thoughts, what's good, what's bad, what should we improve on? Thank you. All right.
So what do you have for us, Cliff? What are your Cliff Notes for this Monday after this awesome win after the Niners game?
Literally. So while I was watching the game, I decided that for this week's Cliff Notes, I would just write down my thoughts as I'm watching the game. So we'll do like a couple minute recap on exactly how the game went for a fan, not someone, I haven't gone back and watched it 2 or 3 times yet. So let's just see how I felt the first time when I was watching the game. Mm-hmm. So, all right, with no further ado, the first obvious point was the rain. Hours before the game, it's raining. There's ladies sticking her toes in the ground. And, I was thinking there's no way this rain could be this strong and go for hours, but it did. It just kept going. Mm-hmm. All right, Bears get the ball. Nothing happens, not real good. I was hoping to see something better. 49ers get the ball, and they look like a playoff team. They're marching right down the field. They get all the way down into the red zone, and then Jalen Johnson comes up with the peanut punch, and it was beautiful. Mm-hmm. Exactly. He takes the ball away. Bears have the ball back. No score, 49ers. Now, then I see Justin lofting the ball over the linebacker to Ryan Griffin. Yep. Griffin makes a nice inbounds catch. It gets challenged, but it turned out okay. But, people are complaining about that lofting the ball. If he throws it lower, that linebacker, you see how high these NFL guys can jump. He's going to grab the thing. So I don't have problems with that. All right. But right after that, what I do have a problem with is the Justin Fields interception. No, don't do that, Justin. All right. Now,
can I interject one thing, Cliff?
Yeah,
one thing before you get away.
Yeah. Anytime you want.
When you brought up Jalen Johnson, I don't know if you all saw this, but after the game, he basically dogged Trey Lance and said that we made him play quarterback. He didn't do shit. And ooh, that scared me if you have to play them again. That's what we don't want, in my opinion. But at least he's got the balls to say it, I guess.
Right. No, and I'd actually be happy to play Lance again in the playoffs. I don't think he's as good a quarterback as some other people think.
Remember in 2005, we said, we beat the Panthers. They came here and they sucked. They were, so overrated. And then in the playoffs, we played them again. And Steve Smith scorched Peanut for 347 yards. So,
I think it was 560.
There you go. But I digress, Cliff. It's your segment, sir.
Don't mess with Steve Smith. I agree with you on that.
If I just may interject too, I to your point, I love how there was a couple of plays like that where he just kind of lofted up. He could tell the guy, the defender was in his way, and he had to just loft the ball up over him. And he did that 1 or 2 more times in the game, which is just it goes to show what he has to offer with his athletic ability and his creative mind as a quarterback and his ability to improvise. Go ahead, Cliff.
It reminds me a little bit of Mahomes. Mahomes throws sideways. He throws underhand. Right. He throws forward. I think that Justin Fields, as he develops, may show some of those similar.
Hey, he threw underhanded yesterday to David Montgomery.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So something to look forward to. Okay, let's see. Dominique Robinson, that sack of Lance. That's the next thing that happened. With one arm by the jersey, he just yanks the guy down. Again, these NFL players are ridiculously strong.
The hand strength that it takes for you to grab someone's jersey like that and pull them down to the ground who weighs that much, that hurts your hand. Correct. It does.
Correct.
So he did a great job on that. He had another half sack, which should have been his as far as I'm concerned, as Tao is saying. So, yeah, that was great.
Well, to go on a side note here, he had 1.5 sacks and Khalil Mack had 3. But if you look at their salaries, I think that Dominique's the bargain. Mm-hmm. So, okay, back and forth defensive battle for the rest of the first quarter. Bears are hanging in there with the 49ers. It's not great, but we're not down 20 points in the first quarter. Right. Wait. There's an accident on the field. Eddie Jackson just got run over by a Debo.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
You got to watch those Debos.
Yeah, he absolutely destroyed him on that touchdown, didn't he? He just ran right through him.
If you're a safety, and a WR is doing that to you, that's not good.
Cutler ran over Harrison Smith like that back in 2015 at Soldier Field, which I loved, and now I'm seeing our safety get run over like that. I was like, this man has not made a play in 4 years, and then he made a play. So anyway, Cliff.
Right. Okay, after that, I wanted to spy on Lance. I've been talking about that in the chats for a while. Where's our spy? Was that Brisker? He sort of got whiffed when he was trying to stop that draw play where Lance got the first down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next big item. Huafunga? Who the heck is Huafunga? This guy just shows up, his second-year player, shows up out of the blue, and he starts destroying the Bears single-handedly.
Mm-hmm.
Not a bad strong safety for the 49ers.
No, and they have our previous safety,
Gibson. They can keep him though.
Yeah, they can keep him. Yeah.
Okay, Trenton Gill. Everybody's down on Trenton Gill because he's wiping the field with the towel. But all right, how many people are there over on the Bears sideline? Maybe 100 people. They don't have their eyes closed. They see him walking out with a towel. Maybe somebody should have told him that's not all on him. He's coming
Right.
straight. He's coming straight.
Cairo took the blame for that, actually.
So.
Okay, good.
But anyways, it's such a weird rule. The refs seem to be the only people in the stadium who knew it. So,
yeah, even Moose said himself, I've played in the league for however many years, and I've been broadcasting for however many years, and he's like, I've never seen anything like that called before. That was crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen anybody even do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the coach.
Hey, Dan, you're our expert. Or Dan Aguire, you're our expert on history. Have you ever?
Yeah,
seen
New
that
England
before?
did that snowplow back in '82 against was it the Colts they were playing or the Dolphins? Who were they playing? But they brought the guy that was he was a convict on leave for the weekend, and he drove the snowplow out at Sullivan Stadium. Was it Sullivan Stadium, the old Patriots field? And
I don't remember.
Well, yeah, you should look it up. He literally comes across and brings the snowplow and clears a spot, and they kick the field goal to win. And I think that was in '82, and by '83 they changed the rule. The whole Patriots team in '01 was like making room or digging the field out for Adam Vinatieri against the Raiders, but they said that was legal if it was the people doing it and not a towel or a machine, such as the game in '82. Now we've got footage of it.
There it is.
Wow.
It's against Miami. Okay, I thought it was an AFC East game.
Oh, my goodness.
If you all haven't seen this, I mean, this is legendary.
I forgot. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, this was on NFL Films a lot when I was a kid.
Uh-huh.
There was all kind. Yeah, look, Mark Van Egan, former Raider there.
So you're telling me that the Patriots have been cheating for a lot longer than we think?
The Patriots have been fucking cheating since Reagan was president. That's what I'm telling you.
That's surprising.
No, not at all.
I wish we had the end of the kick, the snowplow thing. Yeah,
Yes.
I guess maybe he's trying to find it.
Yeah, it looks like he's zooming ahead to try to find it.
Yeah, they literally bring a snowplow out at the end of the game.
Now,
Yeah,
after you mentioned it, Dan, I do remember that happening. That was so long ago.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, no kidding.
Shula was pretty angry about this. I should have remembered that aspect of it.
So Dan Aguire, what you're saying is that Trenton Gill could have had a towel hanging from his waistband and put his butt down and wiggled around, and that would have been okay?
Yeah, and he could have wiped off Santos's ass as well and
Yeah,
rubbed
right.
him down with the towel and did some kind of Magic Mike shit, and they would have been okay.
There you go.
But they could not use the towel on the field, which is what Santos said. He didn't know what the rule was. I'm the veteran. I'm supposed to know that. Don't blame the kid. Blame me. That's
Sounds
essentially
good.
what he was paraphrasing. I'm paraphrasing, but that's essentially what he said.
Okay, good of him to take the blame.
One
Sorry.
more quick thing to that before you transition or to your next Cliff note, Cliff. Did you guys notice the towel on the field at some point in the game? I thought it was a flag that was laid down, and it was on the field, probably like the 30-yard line on the visitor's side, and it looked like there was a flag just sitting on the field.
A yellow towel, right? It looked
Yeah,
yellow.
yeah. And then it ended up being someone's towel, and they just removed it. And we were like, "Why? What's that flag doing down there? What's the flag for?" We were all like, in the fans watching the game, like, "What's going on with that flag down there? Is there a penalty on the last play? What the hell, But no, it was just somebody's towel that fell.
A couple of years ago in Buffalo, someone threw a dildo on the field. True story.
Oh my God!
You can look it up. It was right around the goal line.
My cousin who went with us yesterday, She was like, wouldn't it be funny, like, because you can only bring a clear plastic bag into the stadium? And she's like, wouldn't it be funny if I just put a dildo in here and brought it into the game with me? And I'm like, that would have been fucking hilarious.
Or you could remember what happened with the Oakland A's game recently.
No, what was that?
Dude was getting head at the game.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, in the stands. The stands were completely empty up and left, right, wherever he was in the outfield. And he's up top, literally almost up top in the last row. There's only he and she, and she's blowing him. So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, the A's are trying to press charge. They're trying to get charges pressed on him. They're like, if anyone can identify these two people.
No shit.
Yeah. Yes, even if I
Here comes the dildo.
I'm not identifying them.
Is this the dildo?
This is the dildo. It was in Buffalo.
Did you work this out with Aldo before? How is he just pulling this shit up right as we speak? This is amazing.
That's because Aldo's amazing.
He is amazing.
If you could dump my face out of there, we might be able to see it.
Oh, is it dildo in the upper left-hand corner?
Yeah, I think so. It's near the goal line. Yeah.
Oh!
That's not superimposed. That is real.
That's funny.
Do you think it was on?
Vibrating, you mean?
Yeah.
If you're throwing a dildo, you're definitely turning it on first.
I would think so too.
Oh
my goodness.
Excellent memory and excellent job for pulling that up, Aldo. Holy shit, that's insanely good.
That's probably just a search that says Bill's dildo. I mean, honestly, I don't know.
Oh, shit. So what's your next cliff note?
Okay, here, continuing on. Bears toughened up, made a good goal line stand, held the 49ers to a field goal, 10-0. Not terrible, you know. All right, now we get to the good part of the game. Fields is running backwards. He's being chased by two linemen. We saw the videos here earlier. He breaks out to the left. The entire teams on both sides go left, and Pettis goes to the right. Wide open, catches the ball. Equanimous makes the block and score for the Bears. Now, at that point, the Bears are starting to get momentum. The momentum swung big time then.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
you can feel it.
Yeah, I can feel it at the game. Yep.
Now, Bears keep trying to establish the run, and some of the fans are booing. You know, I mean, don't boo that, fans. You know, I mean, we need to get that run established, even if it's not working. You know, just keep it going, keep it going. All right, San Francisco penalties are saving the Bears. You know, the Bears are getting stopped. San Francisco's getting the penalties. All right, what the heck? Fields just received another late hit, the second one. Now, the entire Bears team is around him, protecting him as a team and screaming at the 49ers. You know, it's good to see that they're not leaving him on his own, lying there on the ground. That's
such a shift from last year, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was saying at the game, we were screaming like, finally he got two of them in the same game. It took him how many games to get two of those last year, you know?
And he was taking some shots too. Like
last
egregious shots. Yeah.
Much worse than yet.
And like there was one in a game I was at in Pittsburgh that was just awful. And they didn't throw it.
And the Packers too.
Yeah.
Now, right after that, Fields throws an out-of-bounds ball in Mooney's direction. I'm like, uh-oh, is he hurt? You know, concussion or something? But immediately after that, he comes back and he throws the touchdown to Equanimous. So, all right.
Yeah,
he's
because the guy that hit him when he was sliding, they brought him in for a concussion protocol after that.
I hope he was concussed too, that bastard.
But isn't that strange that he would get the concussion over Fields when he's the one delivering the blow, if he did get one?
Well, Fields must have a hard head. So, okay. Where am I here? Okay, touchdown. Now, this is really the time that the fans got into the game. The Bears players and fans started believing. You know, first touchdown was good. The second touchdown, they take the lead, and I could feel it change watching the TV and listening to the crowd noise. All right, now Lance gets the ball back. Now it starts pouring. You know, I mean, I don't know if the Bears are favored above, you know, by some power or something, but it started raining right at the perfect time for the Bears. You know, super heavy rain. Lance is not the kind of quarterback to bring him back. He throws. He should have had an intentional grounding call. He gets outside of the hash marks, but then he throws it way short of the line of scrimmage. But nobody seemed to care. And then right after that, Eddie Jackson makes the great darting play to come in and get the interception. Now, Jackson is back where he belongs. What do you guys think? You know, keep him at free safety, right?
Absolutely. Dan?
Oh, yeah, unequivocally. And I was glad to see it because I was bad-mouthing him. I'm like, God, this fucking guy hasn't made a play since 18. Please shut me up. Please tell me to suck your dick. And this one guy on Twitter can go straight to hell. Please show me up. Please prove me wrong.
Look what happens when you put a powerhouse, strong safety next to him in Brisker. Right. And Brisker had a lot to do with that win yesterday, too. He had a lot of good plays himself. And Jackson,
let me ask you two gentlemen a question before we get back to Cliff's notes, which is such a good pun. But would you rather have Khalil Mack in his 3 sacks yesterday, which will probably end in 9 sacks when the year's over, or would you rather have that young kid out there at safety? I'm taking Brisker all day.
Me too.
Brisker's going to be around a lot longer than Mack is.
Goddamn right he is.
And Mack had that one good game for us in 2018 and basically didn't do anything after that. So I wouldn't be surprised if he finishes with 5 or 6 sacks with the Chargers this year.
Well, he might just get injured again because that's what he seemed to do for us. So,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll take Brisker in this moment over Mack any day because, like you were saying, we're going to get him for a lot longer. We have him on a rookie deal. We drafted him. They're going to the Chargers are going to have to pony up some more money for Mack if he has a breakout season, right? So that's going to be on them. I would rather have Brisker for the kind of field general he's going to be in the backfield.
And Dominique, the two of them.
1.5 sacks for a rookie. That I've been saying this for a while. He could be our Mark Anderson this year.
Good comparison.
Yeah.
You know, Mark Anderson had that one solid year in 06, and then they made him the starter in 07, and he never did anything again.
And I hope that doesn't happen with Robinson, but
oh, fuck yes.
But he has a lot more promise, doesn't he?
I would think so.
I agree. All right, we're nearing the end here. Just a couple more to go. All right, Bears are still running the football, and they run it in for another touchdown. You know, the running game, the strong defense, that's the new character of the Bears. That's their image. All right, Roquan almost gets an interception from Lance, just off his fingertips, so close. Doesn't matter because on 4th down, Trey Lance throws the ball away out of bounds where nobody could catch it. Not surprising to me. Bears win. Bears win.
Bears win.
The final thing, Eberflus is so happy. I don't know if you guys saw him on the sidelines, but they had the TV cameras focused on him. And he's getting high fives. He's getting hugs. You know, it's a great moment to see their rookie head coach enjoying it so much. And then, of course, the last moment to mention is the slide into the end zone. You know, that should be on a poster.
It's going to be, man. How many of those is he going to sign before his tenure's done in the league?
I love the pump afterwards, too. Like, love it, man. I was right there, and I could have had it videoed. I'm so pissed.
I don't want to make this show as dirty as Aldo and I show because, you know, that's our gimmick over there. Some people get disappointed by that. But how much pussy is he going to get because of that play?
Oh, my God.
As long as they aren't masseuses.
Oh, God. Yeah.
How much pussy are you going to get as just a successful Chicago Bears quarterback? I mean, we've never had one. So... mad pussy for him.
I can't even imagine what it would be like. You know, you walk into a bar and you're surrounded by a dozen women that all want you.
And the thing about him is he's such a good kid. He's raised so well that I don't even think he would take advantage of it. You know what I mean? He's that good of a guy.
No, maybe he's got a girlfriend. I don't know.
I don't know. Nothing's public about that, but he should. He's a good-looking kid. He's a well-raised kid. His dad is the foundation of his upbringing, and you can tell just in the player itself. Such an exciting time for us to finally have a quarterback we can actually have hope and faith in, you know?
Yes, yes. I've been saying it the whole offseason that we've got our guy, man, and Sonny. What's his real name? In case you all don't know him on Twitter, he was really over the top and passionate in a good way. Sanjin Jovanovic is his name. Good guy, comes on the show with us sometimes. He's a big supporter of Justin as well.
Awesome, man. Well, guys, I appreciate you guys coming on to our very first Bears Country podcast on the Barroom Network. We
It
do have
just
to
went
wrap
by too quickly.
It did. It's like almost an hour now. We're like just getting started. So
Yeah, I know.
it's awesome. It's awesome to talk Bears with you guys. We could do this for hours, but lots more of that to come on Bears Country podcast because we have the South Burbs Hitmen coming up next on the Barroom Network. So we should probably bid our adieus to everyone here. And thank you all so much in chat. Thank you all so much for watching. We love all of you here at Bears Country Podcast and at Barroom Network. Barroom Network, you are the podfather, and we all love you. So thank you very much. Do you guys want to do the Bears with me, or you want me to do it by myself?
I want to shout out the Anthony Thomas jersey behind you. Or is that Neil Anderson?
It's fucking Anthony Thomas, but my buddy who hates them because he's such an Illini fan, I had to switch it around so it didn't say Thomas on the back. So right now it's a Neil Anderson jersey. I did too, but he's a huge Illinois fan, and Michigan broke his heart. So
there you go.
Now it's a Neil Anderson jersey.
Don't forget this guy. He took one step closer to being the franchise QB we know he's going to be.
Absolutely.
I thought at first that was Cam Newton, but no, I'm just kidding.
No, he established his leadership of the team. He took over the game when it counted. Those are all the things we want to see from our franchise quarterback that we've never had. Well, since Jim McMahon, if he could have just remained healthy, he would have been one of the best of all time. But
I agree.
With that, we'll end it with that. You guys want to do the Bears with me?
Sure.
Or you want me to finish it off myself?
I'm gonna let you. Are you gonna sing "Bear Down"? Is that what you're asking?
No, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, Bears.
Oh, okay. I'll do it.
But just
all
not
right.
not that dorky.
No, that's how I do it. You can do it however you want, but I'm a dork. So ready? 1, 2, 3, Bears.
Bears!